Well, in this video, I'm going to compare the Galaxy S24 Ultra specs with the Galaxy S23 Ultra and gonna see what are the big changes. Do keep this in mind, this video is done way before the Samsung's launch event, so certain things like dimension, those are not leaked yet and I can't really confirm you that. But what we can compare are the big major things that are coming as an update. So the big thing actually starts with the display. This time it will have the same 6.8-inch Quad HD Plus, means 1440p display with about 500 ppi density, and it's also again gonna be a 1 to 120Hz display. But the change is somewhere else. This time the peak brightness is gonna be 2600 nits compared to only 1750 of the current model. Doesn't mean it's bad, but the upgrade is actually a big upgrade, even though the brightness is usually measured in logarithmic scale, not in linear scale. So that's the thing. The display will have another massive change. It's gonna be flat this time, a totally flat display. And we have Samsung's official renders and whatnot. But yeah, the bezel's gonna be slightly curved, but that's not something that is just like we can measure in millimeters. It's so thin, because the display bezels are actually gonna be even thinner than the S23 Ultra. That too, they're all gonna be symmetricals at the top, at the bottom, at the sides. So this is a big jump in the display department. Not saying it's a major or significant upgrades to every single one, but certain people will definitely feel it's a big upgrade. I mean, we have already reached to a point where there is very little things we can do to the displays anymore. The next big upgrade is coming definitely in the processor department. Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy chipset, compared to last year's model that came with the very famous Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy. The 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy, even though it is still based on 4nm process node, it has a much more powerful Cortex X4 core running at 3.4 GHz compared to the Cortex X3 core running at 3.36 GHz on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy inside the S23 Ultra. Now, the X4 core of its own can actually perform like the X3 core at a 40% less power usage. So you see what I'm trying to say, it's much more efficient. And if you look at the peak power, then it is about 15% more powerful than the Cortex X3 core. The other core configurations are also slightly different this time. For example, the performance cores on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy were Cortex A710 and A715 cores. There were two groups of both of these cores and all of them were running at 2.8 GHz. On the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy though, it's going to be slightly different. Two will run at 2.96 GHz, they are all going to be Cortex A720 cores though, and the other three will run at 3.15 GHz. So it's a totally different kind of configuration even in the performance cores department. The efficiency cores are actually less in comparison to last year's model. Only two Cortex A520 efficiency cores running at 2.27 GHz. But that's not the only thing. There are going to be even more differences in the NPU department. And NPU, if you don't know, is the biggest jump yet on this device. Because this whole Galaxy S24 series will be called Galaxy phones powered by Galaxy AI. And there's so many AI features. I've made several videos on them. And these on-device AI features that will not require internet actually requires much more powerful NPU. Now, there is no exact way to measure the NPU's capabilities, but it's gonna be real powerful because even the vapor chamber cooling systems are getting 1.9 times bigger in comparison to the S23 Ultra inside the S24 Ultra. So you see how powerful this chip is gonna be, even in terms of NPU. Now, if you look at the benchmarking numbers of both the Galaxy S23 Ultra and as well as the leaked benchmarks of the S24 Ultra, it's pretty much clear. The S23 Ultra only performed 1893 in the single-core test and 5016 in the multi-core test. The S24 Ultra scored 2234 points in the single-core department alone and 6807 points in the multi-core score. Big numbers. And that clearly also doesn't mean that the S23 Ultra's 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy is any slouch. No, hell no. In the build quality, there is another thing I want to mention, and that's getting a big upgrade, is that this time it's coming with a much more flatter design. So it's a personal preference, it's not an upgrade or downgrade or anything like that. But this time the side frame is actually going to be made out of titanium, unlike last year's Armor Aluminum 2.0. Titanium is a material that is way more stronger than the aluminum, yet it is much more lighter than stainless steel. So Samsung can actually use the similar amount of titanium inside the phone to make it much more rigid and much more stronger compared to aluminum frame, or otherwise they can make it equally as strong as the aluminum while making the phone much more lighter. Both are possibilities. Now in the storage and RAM department, mostly they don't have changes. It's 12 to 56 starting. The UFS 4.0 storage is there, 512GB is gonna be there, and there is gonna be a 1TB storage option as well, just like the current S23 Ultra. The battery wise, it's the same story. 5000 mAh battery, they're claiming 0 to 65 in 30 minutes, but that's probably it. 45 watt max charging, 15 watt wireless charging, and 4.5 watt reverse wireless charging. Identical to the S23 Ultra. By the way, this year we are gonna get certainly new colors like titanium black, titanium grey, titanium violet, and titanium yellow. Plus there are gonna be certain Samsung.com exclusive colors like blue, light green, and a purple. The S23 Ultra came in black, green, cream, lavender, graphite, sky blue, lime, red, and there is a BMW edition as well. Also, this phone will be launching with One UI 6.1 software. So it will get more software updates compared to S23 Ultra, but that's obvious, I guess everyone knows that. Hopefully Samsung will claim something big like 6 or 7 years of Android updates, hopefully, but it's not confirmed. So now the big thing, the cameras. Are there any major changes? Well, there are, but also certain cameras haven't changed, like the selfie camera is still gonna be the identical one to the S23 Ultra. Even the ultra wide angle camera we are hearing is not gonna be a big change. And the same thing also can be said about the 10 megapixel 3x telephoto zoom camera. But the other two cameras, the main camera and the bigger zoom cameras, are getting big upgrades. The main 200 megapixel ISOCELL HP2 camera is actually an optimized variant of the same ISOCELL HP2 camera you can find inside the S23 Ultra. They are the same sensors, 1/1.3 inch sensors, 0.6 micrometer size pixels. No difference. Where the differences are? Well, this year it is getting something really cool of a feature called sensor crop. Now this feature alone is the biggest upgrade, and Samsung has already showcased us a video about this as well. With this capability, you're gonna have a 2x zoom without losing any quality, unlike the last year's S23 Ultra's 200 megapixel camera at 2x, because this is cropping into the sensor to give you the lossless quality photo, but at maximum 50 megapixel resolution, or Samsung might even restrict it to 12 megapixel. I don't know that. Also, thanks to this feature, Samsung gonna use another term called ISOCELL zoom anyplace. Now this technology utilizes a combination of proprietary AI tracking and Qualcomm's AI engine on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy chipset. This automatic zoom and subject tracking in videos, capturing both close-up and wide-angle perspective simultaneously, and it's tracking a subject means you don't have to move around the phone too much. It's automatically doing it. So the result is two high-resolution videos from a single camera. One is a zoomed out one that is tracking the subject, the other one is the wide-angle perspective of the main camera. As I was talking about, the tetra-2-pixel powered in-sensor zoom, and this same technology will also be used inside the bigger zoom camera. This is going to be an ISOCELL GMU sensor. It's a 5x 48 megapixel / 50 megapixel 1/2.25 inch sensor with 0.8 micrometer size pixels. This sensor is a 5x camera. It's still a periscope camera, but it's a 5x camera. A lot of people might be disappointed comparing it with the 10 megapixel 10x camera you can find inside the S23 Ultra. Is it better, or why Samsung is doing it? Because of the in-sensor zoom technology. It will be able to capture a 12 megapixel non-upscaled 10x photo without losing any quality. Now, if you compare that with the current system actually takes a 10 megapixel photo and then upscale it to 12 megapixel. So the quality usually is not that good. And on top of that, because the 5x camera has a lot more megapixels, plus it's a bigger sensor compared to the 10x camera, it will also technically do a lot better in lower light scenarios. Now, if you are worried about the 100x zoom, that is still going to be there, just like what it is inside the S23 Ultra, because technically it's just a digital zoom on top of the 10 megapixel 10x crop on the S23 Ultra. So even in that department, technically it's better. Plus, this phone is going to be all about AI. There are going to be so many AI features. One of them is actually named Ramster. This will upscale the photo to a much higher resolution. And then you have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3's ISP, plus the AI capabilities, the NPU. So yeah, definitely it's going to be a much better 100x zoom. But keep this in mind, all these things are on paper. Now, the software department, there are going to be so many AI features. Some of them will actually require cloud, and some of them will actually do all of that using the NPU on the device. Like the live call translate is coming to the Galaxy S24 Ultra that will do the live translation between two people speaking different languages without the need of any cloud servers or anything like that. Plus, video object eraser is coming to the S24 Ultra, the AI upscaling, and so many other features. So the things that are using the NPU will not come to the S23 Ultra, that are using software or cloud servers should come to the S23 Ultra. We don't know whether it will be able to shoot log footages or not. That is not confirmed. But we're hearing that 4K 120 FPS might arrive to the S24 Ultra. Now, the last thing, the price and the pre-order bonuses. Well, the price is going to be identical to the S23 Ultra in certain markets. In Europe, though, it's going to be slightly costly, about 50 euros or so. Now, we are hearing that if you do pre-order the S24 Ultra, you will get double the storage at the same exact price, just like they did with the S23 Ultra's pre-orders. And the same thing are also for the bonus discounts. Like if you buy it with the Galaxy Watch or a Galaxy Buds FE, you're going to get even more discounts on it. That's it. That's totally it. So these are all differences we can see from the leaked spec sheet and everything we know so far about the S24 Ultra. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you upgrading from the S23 Ultra or probably going to keep the S23 Ultra for another year or so? Let me know. And yes, if you feel like you need some really cool wallpapers for your devices, whether it's a tablet or a smartphone or even a laptop, well, I have some crazy cool 8K wallpapers, stunning designs, and amazing colors. Visit my website, joindavid.com, link down below. And until the next one, bye and take care.